and welcome to today's It Matters radio broadcast. We're always bringing you the best of music, the best of guests, and today is no exception. I'm very, very excited. I have been waiting a long, long time for Carrie to have this wonderful guest on our show. So, Carrie, I'm going to turn this over to you. And as you all know, this is Carrie, our musical host, and
Hello.
introduce our guest.
I am delighted to introduce to our viewers Janice Pearson. She is a singer, a songwriter, a actress. This lady has so many hats on, Janice. I just can't imagine how you manage it all, to be honest.
A
But
juggling act. Yeah.
it must be a great juggling act. So, welcome to the show, Janice.
Thank you very much, Kerry. Thank you. Delighted to have been invited. Thank you very much, Monica. Thank you.
No problem. So, Janice, let's go back to almost the very beginnings of you. When did you first start getting interested in music?
Probably when I was at junior school. I used to participate in little music groups. I can remember sitting in circles in the hall on the wooden parquet flooring and auditioning even then for our little Christmas shows or whatever we were doing. So I've always had a love for music.
Great. So now, when did the acting come in, and what got you interested in the acting? I was curious.
That kind of happened a bit by chance. I started to sing, and when we moved with my husband's job, I was looking for houses, and it was such a beautiful day, and I can be a bit of a romantic. In my head, I'm thinking it's gorgeous weather. Oh, I love that house. We'll have that house. And I was by myself, and I sat on the seafront, and I thought, oh, this is just amazing. I can walk the dogs along the beach. So I phoned him, and he said, oh, what about the floodplain? And I'm like, what? And he's like, oh, the insurance for the house. I said, but the house is amazing. And the conversation we had, he really burst my happy bubble. And I thought, right, that's it. I'm not going to go and look at houses anymore. He can do it himself. And I got into a little bit of a strop. And so what I did was I thought, I'm going to go and get an ice cream because I love ice cream. So I went to a little booth where I could see a sign for a cornetto. It's quite a famous ice cream. I'm not sure if you've heard of cornettos. Am I advertising? I don't know if I should be advertising. Anyways, I went into this little booth place and I saw this amazing poster of Oklahoma. And I absolutely loved that film. We used to watch it with my mum and dad when I was younger.
Mhm.
And I thought, right, so I went to the booth and I said to the man, I said, oh, can you please, and he went, how many tickets? And I went, no, I don't want to buy the tickets. Can you please give me the contact number for the Choral Society? And he went, what, you? And I went, yes, me. I'm moving to the area, and I didn't have like a local accent, and I said I'd love to make some new friends. And so that's how it happened, because he then gave me the phone number. I phoned them up. They invited me along for an audition, which was happening really quickly. That wasn't the intention. It was the intention to join the group. My first week was auditioning, which was a bit scary. I sang and they gave me the part. So I Googled acting very quickly because I thought, I don't know what to do on stage. And that's how it started.
Wow, amazing.
Sorry.
Yeah.
What part were you playing in it?
I played a dresser.
Oh, okay.
And it was wonderful. I got to wear a medieval costume with the beautiful draped sleeves.
Oh, yes.
And there was 3 other ladies and myself, and it was a marvelous experience. We were live for 3 nights.
Wow.
You know,
Great.
that's great to be your first audition and to actually get a part. You
Yeah.
know,
That's amazing.
Amazing.
yeah, it's great. Yeah, I love Oklahoma also, but I love musicals, so.
They're, they're fun. So you have met some very interesting people. I wanted to start with the song Sunshine on My Life, because that's a delightful song. And I want to talk a little bit about how that song came together for you and who you met and all.
Right, okay. That was as a result of a film script that I was going to audition for, and it was from one of the acting teachers that I went to at the first school that I went to, and it was for a film called Seeing Smoke. And it was about this person, this man who had not a good experience. He didn't do anything wrong himself, but the general public in the area where he lived sort of ostracized him and made his life very difficult. But he still got up every morning, and I thought, what does he feel like? So I read through the script, and that's how that song came about. I ended up writing the song with a man called Derek Conlon, who's a wonderful musician, and that's how I recorded the song. The person that, the lady that referred me to the composer, who was Mike Koch at Studio 45 in London, she was the very first singing teacher that I decided that I would go to after I met a life coach in 2007. And she said, you've got to write songs. If that's what I'd started to write, and she said, you've got to write songs. I'm a songwriter, and she put me in touch with him, and that's how the song came about.
Well, it's a great song. It's delightful. It's very upbeat. It's just, yeah. You might get mad at me, but it's a cute song.
Yeah, no, not at all. I think it is. I love it, and it's kind of what I do a little bit.
Sure.
Sort of, we were like showers every morning, and some of the words and the lyrics I can relate to, but that's how it came about.
Right. Then you wrote another song, which I believe you said was featured at the end of a film. Talk a little bit about that, because that's very interesting.
Yeah, I was asked to be, or I auditioned first of all for a short film, and it was called Consequences, and I met a lovely man called Kunal, and he wanted me to be the older lady, and I was in the film as an estate agent, and I met a very young boy, and he wanted to get over the message of how careful you had to be in choosing the right type of partner for you in life. And this young boy was led astray by me, and I wasn't a very genuine person in the film. I also had a lover who was much older, and there's a little clip of that on my Star Now page.
Right.
Mhm.
Good.
I saw that.
Yeah. So the script, again, I got the script and I got the lyrics and I put them together, and then I invited some of the people that were in the film as well to put a line in, and they also added a line because I thought how I felt and how I thought might be different how somebody else felt, and that was a real collaboration, that song, of different people in the film as well. Right.
And the song is called Natural Attraction, is that correct?
It is, yeah.
I only saw the clip. It looks like it would have been a very powerful film to see. So it was submitted to the Canadian Film Festival or British Film Festival?
Yeah, it was. I don't know what happened to it. I've been in lots of little short films and different things, but I gave the song over. I was very honoured to ask for it to be used in the film. I felt I was very, very lucky. And then it went off to the Canadian Film Festival, yeah.
Wow, amazing, just amazing. So you have, like I said, you've met so many interesting people, and they have helped you along the way. Is there one person that you've met that stands out that really helped you a lot?
I would have to say, I think the life coach started, because that was actually the turning point, and had I not been to see him, then none of it would have started to go in the direction or down the path or the route or whatever you want to call it, the way that it did. And I think that he was at the start the very most, and then getting the book that David Grant recommended, that Julia Cameron wrote, The Artist's Way, because that made a lot of sense to me. Once I started to read that book, I was like, yeah, that's what I feel like. Oh, that's what I do. And her program was amazing, and it really helped me work through lots of different things.
Right.
The current person that probably helped me to believe in myself the most is a man called John that I currently co-write with, and his sister Gina. And I think the belief and the realization has come about. So I've not really answered your question with one person.
But that's okay.
But it's, that's what I feel helped me the most along the way over the years.
So you got a lot of like you said, support and influence. And you also mentioned the book. Talk a little bit about that book. Just give us a brief detail of what you learned from that book.
Yeah. Well, the book, you've got to follow different things you are supposed to do. And the first thing is to write 3 A4 pages, handwrite three A4 pages. You can type it if you want to, but you handwrite the 3 pages. You walk, because that then you're out in nature and you visualize and you see things as a creative person. And I didn't realize the impact that that would have. But you're supposed to try and walk by yourself. I have got dogs that I go out with, but you are supposed to walk by yourself to get the most inspiration. And you're also to arrange an artist date to go out by yourself once a week. That might just be for an hour to go to a favourite bakers that might do the most amazing cake that you love. It might be to go to a museum. I absolutely adore the Royal Victoria and Albert Museum in London. I went to see some film costumes a couple of years ago that was very inspirational. I also might pop out to just have a coffee somewhere by myself and do a little bit of writing while I watch people pass by, and yeah, that's what I do. I follow what Julia Cameron's 3 methods are.
Wow.
It seems like the process that they have, first of all, takes away the fear.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it
Absolutely.
also allows you to get in touch with your true creativity, which
Yes.
so many people don't take the time to do that. They're so busy doing other things in life that they don't look at what their passion is in life or what their love is.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I think that's a wonderful book. And what's the name of the book? Maybe other people could purchase it.
It's called The Artist's Way.
The Artist's Way.
The
Okay.
Artist. Yeah, I think I might have a copy. Have I got a copy of it? No, I've got the copy in the other room, but I can get that to show you it if you want me to.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, you can do that maybe during the break, Monica.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. When we take a break, you can do
Yeah.
that. Because I would love people to be inspired. I mean, just meeting you today and seeing what you've accomplished. Um, and it was all on your own. I mean, I know you had help and you met people along the way, but if you hadn't put yourself in that place at that specific time and had the courage to step up, you never would have met those people. Yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And I was very, very terrified on lots of occasions. I've put myself in uh, challenging as well as crazy positions, but I've done it. I might not have been proud of some of the things at the time, but afterwards I was, because what it helped me to do was to recognize where I really wanted to be and what was right and wasn't right for me. And the book helped me to accept myself through all of that change, because it was very different, from going from someone who was so used to wearing a business suit
Mhm.
and being suited and booted and going out and working very long hours on a contract, to then all of a sudden being in an incredibly creative world where people have been doing it for very, very long periods of time. But they all accepted me so well and encouraged me along the way. So whilst I was terrified, they all made me feel incredibly welcome, inspired me, and also taught me things. They were teachers and
Right.
mentors.
Right.
Right.
And
So one of your passions, and you mentioned it in your bio, is writing. And you were or are writing a script, I believe, for a movie. Or talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. Do you want me to tell you how it started? Would you want me to?
Sure, we got whatever you would like to
I
start
was
at.
working on quite a challenging contract for a very well-known firm of accountants,
Mhm.
and the lady that was my manager, there was 3 of us that would work in this boardroom at a company, and it was pretty terrifying. It was a tough contract. She was a tough cookie, as you would call it. She really was, but she had to be. So a taxi was coming to pick her up, and she was on the phone a lot to it, and she was getting more and more stressed out. And it came out in the boardroom that basically she had to get home by a certain time to pick her son up, and the taxi driver couldn't find where the building was. It wasn't easy to find. It was on a one-way street in the middle of the city centre. And I said, oh, it'll be all right. I'll get you to the station on time. I'll go and get my car. And she was so stressed out. She was very outwardly spoken about what. And I went, well, I'll go and get my car. And if you cancel the taxi, and if you want to do that, that's fine. If you don't, then I'll just go and get it. So I did. And then when I got in the car, I can be a bit laid back and a bit airy-fairy sometimes. And I said, oh, I'm going down the right street. And she's looking at her watch. And it was like, oh, my goodness. And it was very, very tense. The moment was very tense. But I got her to the traffic lights. And she went, well, drive me to the entrance. Drive. And I'm like, well, no, if you get out here, I said, if you cross the road, go up the steps. I said, you'll get a coffee and you'll have loads of time to get to the train. So she did. And then it brought back all of the memories of being a mum when I was bringing up my young son and working. It was very challenging, yeah. And it was a stressful situation. And then all of a sudden I thought, this is like spinning plates. It's like juggling and spinning plates. So I pulled my car over in between. I was supposed to be working in this boardroom, and I thought, so I wrote down, there are times I feel that I live my life in a circus ring, like a showman spinning plates. If one falls, what will it bring in the circus ring of my life? Because sometimes as a woman, as a mother, you have so many different people that you're on call to, that you want to be there for, but you work and, you know, you've got bills to pay and different things happen in life. You know, some people maybe need your help if they're not well. So we have to be lots of different people for lots of different people, such as mother, and, you know. So that's how that started. And then when I took it to the man that I met at the cookery demonstration, who said, I'm going to teach you, he went, well, that's a terrible song. And I went, okay. Well, I know. He said, it's 2 Mills and Boone. He says, I'm going to call you Millie Boone. And I went, well, look, I said, John, your coffee's terrible, but I just don't tell you. I said, let's try and... I said, oh, goodness, I thought, I can't believe I said that. But anyways, I did. And I said, let's try and work through it. Can you not just humour me? So then I ended up moving to... I finished on that project, and the lady then put me in this other project, and it was really quite tough. And I thought, oh, I really like circuses. So I Googled about a circus, and back years and years ago, not a particularly nice story, but they actually hung an elephant at a circus because it killed a trainer.
Oh.
I was like, I can't believe they did that. Yeah, but times change and things move on, you know, and at that point in time, you know, if a human got killed by, I know it wouldn't be accepted in these days, but this was like the early 1900s, and it really infused my passion for going to the circus again, because my parents took me to see Billy Smart's circus. And then I linked the song in, and I just said to him, I said, you know that awful song? And he was like, yeah. And I said, well, I think I'm going to start and write a musical about a circus. And he went, right, good idea, right. So we just set off on that. And so I wrote the lyrics for about 60 songs with him. We decided we'd record maybe 5 as a taster, because I feel like I've got a good enough recording voice song, and then, you know, maybe people that are amazing singers could sing the song, but my voice I feel is good enough to sing in a studio to put forward the ideas. So we've recorded 5 of them, and then he said, oh, I want you to turn that musical into a script. And I'm like, well, I don't know how to write a script. So I then worked with one of my acting teachers who teaches accents, and she really helped me because I wanted it to be set in America, and she's amazing with accents. And so I worked with her, and then that set the ball rolling. And then I've been on holiday in Madeira about, I don't know, 6 weeks ago, and I read a book called How to Write a Movie in 21 Days. I've got most of it written down, but we're bringing it all together now, and I'm almost up to, I've got to have 80,000 words ready for next weekend to hand the whole script over. So it's done. I can't believe it.
So you're under some pressure
You're under
right
pressure.
now.
I don't know how it's happened. It has. You know, if you love something, you just do it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you know, you lose your time when you're doing it. You know, there's many a time I'll think, oh my goodness, it's 2 in the morning, I better go to bed. You know, or I'll wake up at 5 and I'll think, oh, I've got to get that idea on paper, because then your normal working day starts. But I've plodded along. It's little baby steps,
That's
and
right.
that's a book that Julia Cameron wrote. You know, lots of different things about how, you know, just keep moving forward and going with the flow, and you'll get moments that are brought to you that
Yes,
will help you.
absolutely, because you have a purpose. Well, I'm going to take a break right now so we can play a couple of songs. And after we're done, we'll be back and we'll continue our interview with the very talented and wonderful Janice Pearson. See you in a bit, guys, and enjoy.
Woke up this morning with the sunshine in my soul. Took a shower, took a rain check, washed the past away. Washed my yesterdays away. There's a light in my soul, shines like 1,000 suns. There's a new road to lead me to a new day, to a new way. There's sunshine in my soul, oh, sunshine in my soul. Blitzed by sparkles that gives out its zest. For my life's now unfolding, oh, it is the best, oh, the very best. There's sunshine in my soul, oh, sunshine in my soul. There's sunshine in my soul, oh, sunshine in my soul. No matter where I am, I'm living for the pleasure. Want to live this life for real. Fill my soul with all its treasures. I want to live this life for real. Sunshine in my soul. Can't stop the sunshine in my soul. Overflowing from my soul. And the sun that shines within me, like dancing flames, they fill me. This fire of life, it thrills me. I've got sunshine in my soul, oh yeah, sunshine in my soul, overflowing from my soul. I got sunshine in my soul. Can't stop the sunshine in my soul. Never gone, the sunshine in my soul. Overflowing from my soul. Can't stop the sunshine in my soul. Overflowing from my soul. Sunshine in my soul. Why am I feeling blue? I feel my blood turn to glue, but my adrenaline starts flowing, for I decide where I'm going. Other people natural attraction. I'll now do what I have to do to set my spirit free. When is a consequence built at my expense? Natural attraction, too much distraction, no more playing alone. Our love has gone. A natural attraction, too much distraction. I can sing my own song. I've been with you far too long. What people say or do is always their own choice. What people think or say is just another voice. There is a consequence, no more at my expense. Natural attraction, too much distraction, no more playing alone. Our love has gone. A natural attraction, too much distraction. I can sing my own song. What prices to pay as I step out every day? It's time to have some fun. I want the moon, stars and sun. There was a consequence. Now I've gained experience. Natural attraction, too much distraction, no more playing alone. Our love has gone. A natural attraction, too much distraction. I can sing my own song. I've been with you far too long.
Carrie,
Great songs.
yeah, outstanding. And I think that everybody that is watching this right now, or live or who will be watching it on the YouTube later on, are just gonna fall in love with the music. And we don't often get to share someone so versatile and talented. I mean, we'll have musicians on, and they're usually, rock musicians, country musicians. A lot of them write, but very seldom, or we might have an actor on, but very seldom do we get the
Actor, singer,
diversity.
songwriter.
Yeah.
That's
So
amazing.
Janice, you're quite special. You know,
You are
I know you
amazing.
might not, you might be humble and not feel that way about yourself, but you are. To be able to not only write, but to act, to sing, and I'm sure you've done even many more things in your career. Have you ever done commercials?
Yeah, I have. I've done a web commercial. I've been on that. I have been mainly a background artist for things that have been shown on national television. But I have done a web commercial for a cleaning company. That was great fun. I had a little dog, and I loved.
Aw.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You might have
It's been
noticed this cat that keeps popping up. It's Punky,
yeah.
and
Oh,
we just made her part of the show because she pops up every time. She wants all the attention. So
She loves the music, by the
we'll
way,
we'll
too. Yeah.
we'll, we'll ignore you, especially after she hears music. She adores it.
Mhm.
But
She's
you
right there.
said that you had dogs?
Yes, I've got 4 little Jack Russells.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh, they're so cute.
So,
handful.
yeah, we've
Yeah.
got the mum and the dad, and I think I was rushing out for an audition, and I've kept the mum and the dad apart. They were both from different families.
Uh-huh.
They got together. Went to
I
see
see.
two of the little daughters so they've got the mum and the dad and 2 daughters.
Aw, how sweet.
Ah, that's right.
I love animals. I have 2 dogs myself and 5 cats, believe it or not,
5 cats.
a menagerie. But
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just something about people who like animals. Um, it seems that so many of them are creative, and I don't know why it is. Maybe there's some connection there. Who knows? But
I think they're
so
very calming animals. They're very I absolutely adore my dogs. They give me so much pleasure.
yeah,
Each one of them is so different.
you know what I always found amazing? I know this is off topic, Carrie, so I
That's fine.
apologize, but I was always amazed that here you have actually, I mean, they're an animal, but they're not a human animal. They're kind of a different species than us. They don't speak our language whatsoever, but yet you look into their eyes and you just communicate with them. You know,
Absolutely.
it's amazing that you can do this.
Yeah, they seem to pick up our aura and our mood because my dogs recently have realised that I was very upset because as
Mhm.
I explained to you, I lost my mum a few months ago.
Yes.
It was an incredibly challenging time because she wasn't well for a while either. But they knew without me speaking, they knew, and they were there. It was amazing. It was really amazing.
Yeah, they were there while you cried, while you talked, and it's true. Animals do this. They just have this instinct. So, um, it always tells me a lot about a person when they love animals. So, I'm so happy you have your doggies.
Yes. Jack Russells, they must be terror, though, in the house. They're very active dogs, aren't they?
They, they are. I've got to really be, I've got to be very, very careful with them. I don't walk them as a four.
Mhm.
I used to, but after the mother had the 2 puppies, sorry, I used to walk the mum and the dad together, but now I have to divide them and go 2 and 2 because after the mother had the puppies, walking the 4, it it was just it was too much, and I couldn't take that risk because they are terriers.
Yes.
So I have to respect their nature. So I walk them 2 and 2. That's how I
Right.
walk. I walk
Yeah.
them and bring the other 2. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a
That's a,
handful for
yeah.
whoa.
4 dogs. Well, cats aren't exactly not a handful there, Monica. You've got 5 of them. So,
Yeah,
Yeah, I
exactly.
know. I know, but
so Janice, you've been acting now. Is there a particular role or audition that you've done that stands out in your mind?
Um, well, there's a couple really.
okay.
I I really enjoyed working on the film Consequences because I really thought it was so important to get that message over that Kuno wanted as well, because of the if it's your choices, it's about your choices. So it had a really good message it was trying to get over. But I absolutely loved being in a film called The Dinner Party. That was a lady who was a potter.
Hmm.
She did things very differently to how I would do when she was sewing. And I developed the character with the director over a period of months by phone because he was in London and I lived in the north of England. So I thoroughly enjoyed learning about her. I went on a pottery course with a friend. Um, I learned how to sew in a different way. And there's nothing wrong with that. And
Hmm.
that's another good thing that it actually taught me, that we all like to do different things. And again, I met some wonderful people through that. It
Wow.
wasn't totally scripted either. We had a structure to follow.
Ah,
But yeah,
Hmm.
so because of that, um, the research that went into it, it literally took months and months, and you didn't know how the other characters were going to react around the dinner table.
So you were ad-libbing a lot then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was amazing. Really, really enjoyed it. It was very
What
challenging.
fun.
Think
Yeah.
on your feet. You had to really be that person. It's very tiring at the end of the day. It was shot over a week,
Mm.
about five complete days that we filmed, and they were quite long days. And it was challenging staying in character
Yes.
throughout. Mm.
Wow. Amazing. I just am so impressed. And you had mentioned you know, the lady had asked you, well, how exciting is your life? You didn't think your life was exciting. It's exciting, Janice. It really is.
I think that I'm like everybody else. I have hobbies, I have desires, I have wants, and it's following those up that's challenging sometimes when you're doing your ordinary everyday routine things, and it's making the time to do that. My house
Hmm.
is not as tidy, as clean and as I'd like it to be, and I have people that are about to come along and help me with that, and I have a lady who helps me with my ironing. And again, those are choices because that gives me the freedom for us all to function as a family, working, but it gives me the freedom to do the other things that actually I absolutely love doing.
Right.
Wow.
And
So we meant, go ahead, Monica.
well,
Sorry.
I always tell people, and Janice, you're living proof of it, that this is your life. If you have a passion in your life, go after it. And it doesn't even matter about the money. Because I hear people say, well, I have to work at this job because I need to make a living. Okay, well, when you're not working at that job, go after that passion and do it because you never know where it's going to lead.
Exactly, exactly, yeah. I have things. I've got a poster up on my wall here to my right. This is where I would sit to work, but I have an area there. It's got how to make change happen. I've got a beach picture up here because I'm inspired when I go along, walk along the beach, and it reminds me of the Ringling Circus. I've got a Las Vegas sign picture up and a yellow taxi. I've got a part over here where I've got things with elephants and shells, and so I've got things there that
Yes,
keep me focused with what I would like to have at some point in the future, and that's a bit more time to write and also to enjoy um, following nature more. That
exactly.
inspires me to write, that fuels my passion.
Carrie, that strikes me. Graham Slater does the same thing. I mean, it's he writes books, but he puts
Right.
his characters' pictures up on the wall. He
Oh
finds
Oh,
wow!
them
really?
and
Yeah.
yeah, and he visualizes them. I think that's a wonderful, wonderful technique. And it
Mm-hmm.
works in many areas, as you've just proven. It keeps you focused
Yeah,
and on
yeah.
spot.
So we talked a little bit about your inspiration from the book. Why don't you show us the book and talk a little bit more about it if you would?
Yeah. This is the book. It's called The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron.
Okay.
And in the book, um, there are. I was going to take it to these. She calls them the basic tools that you need,
Oh,
and
good.
there's 12 chapters that you have to follow, and you read a chapter. Well, she gives you the at the start. I'll read you the little bit at the start. Um, and she calls things here about spiritual. Can you see that properly? Is that
Mm-hmm.
better?
Yes.
Spiritual electricity, the
Called
basic principles. Yes.
spiritual electricity, the basic principles, and how if you put things out to the universe, it gives you things back that helps you along the way.
Hmm.
But the basic principles, um, she's got 10 things listed here, and it says creativity is the natural order of life. Life is energy, pure creative energy. There is an underlying, indwelling creative force infusing all of life, including ourselves. Point three is when we open ourselves to our creativity, we open ourselves to the Creator's creativity within us and our lives. And those are the tools that she gives you to meet these sort of things. We are ourselves creations, and we in turn are meant to continue creativity by being creative ourselves. point 5 I love. It's creativity is God's gift to us. Using our creativity is our gift back to God.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
That's beautiful.
isn't it? And the refusal to be creative is self-will, and it's counter to our true nature.
Hmm.
Now, I have tried to stop myself along the way as well, and that is so true, that point, because it does get scary, but you've got to keep going. When we open ourselves to exploring our creativity, we open ourselves to God, good orderly direction. We are
Wow.
open. As we are open, our creative channel to the Creator, many gentle but powerful changes are to be expected. It is safe to open ourselves up to greater and greater creativity. Our creative dreams and yearnings come from a divine source. As we move towards our dreams, we move toward our divinity. Now, when you start and read that at the start of the book, I'm thinking, oh, well, okay, right, I'll go with the flow and I'll read the book. But the
Right.
things she teaches you to do within the book really, really helps. You check in because you try to skip your pages to start off with, your morning pages, because we've all got a naughty person inside us.
Yes.
Oh, I haven't got
No
time
one will
for
ever
that.
know it's a book, right?
Yeah, oh, I can't bother to do that. We've all got this little voice.
Oh, bother.
Yeah, it's. So there's check-ins that you do, and I just found that so
Yeah.
useful.
Well, I
So
thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Yes, thank you, because that's the book I would really like to read. It sounds fascinating, and it's helped you. So, Janice, where can we find your music, and where can where would be a good source?
Well, I haven't really put it out there yet.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's on SoundCloud, which I haven't made public, but I can do that.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how to do it, and I'll have to get somebody to show me how to do that.
Sure.
But I'll have to make sure that the people that I collaborate with are happy with that as well.
Well, also, if anybody's interested that's listening, and heck, you would like to hire Janice, or at least take a look at,
Please.
at her abilities and her experience, she's on Star now, and you do have some music on there, so they could take a listen to it and see. But I just think, as versatile and talented as you are, there would be so many people out there reaching out to you. So I hope that this gets shared with many people and they get to hear about you. Um,
Yes.
I wanted to ask you a question. I write, okay, novels and short stories and flash fictions, not screenplays. But when you get a character in your mind or characters in your mind, what always seems to happen to me is if I don't write when they want me to, they're like nagging at me.
Yeah,
Do you get that also?
yeah.
That it's like and they're not going to stop until you put it down on paper.
Exactly. I can be on a train, I can be in the car. The worst things when I'm driving in the car, pull over, I have to record it. I've got recordings of me speaking, words. I've got notes where I've been sat in the middle of a meeting and I think, where's that? Stop it. Don't do that now. Save it for later. Yeah. And I must have that glazed look sometimes when I'm talking to somebody because all of a sudden it pops up and I've got to get it written down.
Yes.
If the idea goes and you think, oh, I can't remember that later. I have no idea where it comes from, but yeah, absolutely
Yeah, it does. I
does.
mean, it's what I can almost imagine what the psychics say. I mean, they hear the people from the other side, but we hear the characters, you know.
Right. Right.
But it's
That
so
works for poetry too. Just I do poetry, publish poetry, and I don't get a character, but what I get is a line of a poem, and I have to write it down.
right.
Absolutely have to write it down.
Yeah.
Janice, it has been such a delight talking to you. I hope that you will keep us updated
Yeah.
on your career. Punky the cat has a
Newsletter.
mail,
A
a
newsletter.
newsletter.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell her a little bit about that, Monica, so she can.
Yeah, what we'd like to do, we're here to be supportive. That's the whole reason we have the radio show of talent. And when we see talent, we go to them and say, please be on our show because we want to share you with other people. Now, we don't want to just leave it at that because, like you said, your music isn't out yet for people to purchase. When that happens, we want to know about it so we can tell people. If you, when you get your project done, we want to know about it. So any way that we can assist you at all,
Thank
and
you.
letting people know, because I mean, you're in this for the fun, but you'd also like some notoriety and you'd like to get money out of it, you know.
Be nice.
Good, yeah, that would be. I think that the being realistic, the reason that I would like that is so I can do it more. Because
Yes,
it has brought such joy to my life. There's been many challenges, and I've been able to channel that energy and the different ideas and thoughts through writing. I absolutely adore it, and I love singing. I love
yes,
it.
and you do both very
You
well.
do very well.
So please, we're so happy we had this opportunity to share you and your talent with everyone. But please let us know when you will have any songs available, or even if you'd like to share acting bits that you've done, let us know. And we'll get that out in our newsletters in the future, okay?
Thank you ever
Yes,
so much. Thank you, Monica.
All
right.
right, Janice. And
Thank
I
you.
know we're going to be hearing more from you. And people, I always say this, and Carrie always says this. If you loved our guest, please, please, please don't just go, oh gosh, I really like that guest. Share it with other people because they are probably going to love the guest also. And that's what we're here for. And Janice, is there any place they can follow you at? Are you on Twitter or anywhere or
Yeah, I am on Twitter and I'm on Facebook as
okay.
well. I have linked to Instagram, but I don't go on that really.
Okay.
So Twitter and Facebook,
So
yeah.
probably Facebook and Twitter would be the
Facebook.
best ones. Yeah, go ahead and follow Janice. Let you know that you're in love with her. Okay.
Please.
And with that, Janice, thank you so much. I know
Thank
you're
you so
really
much.
busy and you've got so much to do. And I thank you so much for being part of our show today. And keep it up.
Keep
Thank
it up.
you. Thank you, ladies. Bye.
Bye,
Bye
Janice.
bye.
Bye.
Thanks. Okay. Great.
You took me so for granted. My first real love was you. My innocence shone through. Then a good friend of mine knew that what you did was wrong. Don't take me for granted. Hurt can be prevented. Don't take me for granted. Human hearts can be painted. You said it was only for fun. It made me realize where I
Wow.
Wow.
I know. More great music, isn't it? Uh,
Yes.
I really, really enjoyed this woman, Janice
Me
Pearson.
too.
You know,
Me,
she's so full of positivity and she's so full of life. And I think she gave a gift to everybody out there who's listening to this just by, talking to them about this book that had helped her so much.
yes. It's a book I want to get because it sounds like it really helped her a lot and it really inspired her. And she's such an inspiring person, whether she realizes it or not. She's very humble. That's one thing you and I talked about, the humble people that we've
Yeah.
met.
Yeah.
Um, she is an amazing person, and I'm going to be keeping my eye on her because I think she's going to go through the stratosphere eventually. I really do.
Yeah, and it'll just happen without her even knowing it. She's gonna stumble into the right thing, but we're gonna try to help her at least get some information out because she needs more of that, which she doesn't have much time with. So if she writes us and lets us know, we'll get
Right,
word out to everybody.
right.
And as we always say, please follow her on Facebook and follow her on Twitter, and let other people know about it. And I just want to remind everybody that we have a new show on Saturday nights, so maybe last night you got a chance to listen to it. If not, it's going to be on again next Saturday. Well, actually, it's going to be on actually next Thursday. We're going to have a special night for it then and a special time. But it's called World Music Stage. And a lot of the music that you're going to hear there is rock and country, a lot of it. And maybe even some Motown type music and soul, and you might occasionally hear an international song, but it's upbeat and you're going to really love it. So I hope that you'll tune in. And
Mhm.
Carrie, during the week we have,
We have the Euro Indie Vitec tape shows Monday through Friday. Friday is always special to me, Monica, because we take the songs that people voted for the week before, and they are in the top 20 countdown.
Mhm.
And it's amazing. It's a great, I love the whole show, but Friday, I have to say, is my favorite day. So Monday through Friday, it is on at 7 p.m. Eastern. Please join us, participate, chat. There's great music, fabulous, fabulous indie artists.
Yeah, and I want to tell everybody, some of the music is not in English, but we always say that we're uniting the world via music, and we are. Um, I've gotten to the point where I'm enjoying all the music, English or not, because you're hearing some wonderful instrumentals
Hmm.
and some beautiful voices. And why not listen to everyone from around the world? You know, they listen to us, and when we go over to their countries, even they don't understand what we're saying. And for those of you who are bilingual, you're really going to enjoy it. So I
Hmm.
hope you'll stop by and I hope you'll vote because that's the most
Yes,
important thing.
that is the most important thing.
And tonight, I want you to tune into, if you can, the Spoken Word Guest program with Kenneth Weed. And we're going to have someone named Lawrence Chow. And you guys might know him from hosting Ghostly Encounters on the
Mhm.
Discovery Channel. Yeah,
Yes.
and it's back, and we're going to tell you a little bit about it. And you're gonna see another side of Lawrence that you've never seen before. He's not going to be this serious guy that you see on this show,
No.
on Ghostly Encounters. So I think you're going to enjoy it,
Ooh,
and that's at 7 p.m. tonight. So Carrie, I will see you next week, where I know you're going to
yes.
bring us another wonderful,
We
wonderful
have some
guest.
wonderful guests coming up. People, please keep tuned in. And remember that it matters. We do our very best to bring you the best. So get the word out. Share us on Facebook. Share us in your music groups or whatever, and
Twitter, yeah,
and just share. And we don't do this for ourselves. We do this for our indie musicians. We do this for our spoken word guests.
yeah.
So
Yeah, we don't get money for it, so we wouldn't
no,
expect to do that. They have enough of that stuff going out of their pocket already without us interfering.
right.
Okay, so with that said, folks, have a wonderful rest of your evening. If you're listening to
Thank
this
you.
on YouTube, have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye bye,
Thanks.
all.
Bye bye.
How does it feel when things are real? Could it all change? What do I feel? Wondering about the future, what does it really hold? As each and every one of us grows up, gets old, everything I ever hoped for, dreams becoming real, those ideas in my mind, I've got to define. Can dreams come true? How will I know when time just goes, floats right on by? I look up to the sky, wondering about the future, what does it really hold? As each and every one of us grows up, gets old, everything I ever hoped for, dreams becoming real, those ideas in my mind, I've got to define. Can dreams come true? Make dreams become real. I feel alive, it's surreal. As each second of time passes by, live the dream, make it become real. Wondering about the future, what does it really hold? As each and every one of us grows up, gets old, everything I ever hoped for, dreams becoming real, those ideas in my mind,